I'm going to be comparing the most expensive Vortex Gen 3 6x36, the Razor, which runs about MSRP, I think around the 3,000s. Street pricing, you can probably get it around like 2,100, 2,200, versus the cheaper Vortex Venom. I think MSRP on this is 600, 500. I got it for around 300. You can get it for probably street pricing around the same price, 350, 400. So I just want to show you guys the difference between what you would get with a super expensive Vortex versus the Vortex Venom. Using the scope cam, I just want to give a disclaimer that what I see with my eyes is totally different than what you see with this scope cam, even though it does a good job of showing you what it looks like to the scope. The quality that I see with my own eyes, bare eyes, is definitely different. So don't make rash glass decisions based on what you see with this scope mate. But I did try to capture some good conditions, lighting conditions, and glass quality by using this. This is the best I have. Unfortunately, I don't have setup like the Area 419 setup that they had. But this is I'm working with what I have and giving you guys a good, or trying to give you guys a good view of what it looks like through the scope. So yeah, take it for what it's worth. So let's go ahead and compare these two, and yep. I have the Vortex Venom doing a tracking test up to 10 mils. I'm not going to do the windage. I'm just going to do the elevation, and we're going to do a full 10 mil tracking test. This is what I'm using. It's this guy right here. So I pretty much just have a measuring tape taped up to my fence. My aiming point is, I think, right above that 3, and then my 10 mil I think is my 10 mil I think is right over here in this dot, right, or the arrow right there above the 36. Alright, this is tracking test number 1, attempt number 1 for the Vortex Venom. As you can see where my aiming point is, right above that 3. We're gonna go all the way down to 10 full mils. If you can see where the 10 full mils is, I'm not sure if that camera, hopefully the camera shows it. It's gonna be, the 10 mil is pretty much gonna be on the arrow pointing to the right, right above the 36 or the 3 feet mark. So we're gonna go down to 10 full mils and see if our tracking is on point and is 100% correct. Now we're gonna go back to 0 to see if it returns to 0. Return right to 0, right above that 3. All right, we'll do our second attempt. All right, it's still right above that dot, and then we're gonna go back to 0. Still right above the 3. Okay, final attempt. And still right above that, not the dot, I'm at the arrow. And then I'm gonna go back to 0. Still right above that 3. So it looks like it's returning to 0 really well, and it's tracking 100%. And this is a Vortex Venom, cheap $300 or $400 scope. I got this for, I think, 300 bucks. So yeah, good job, Vortex. All right, this is our tracking test with the Vortex Razor, attempt number 1. As you can see, my crosshair is right above the F, the 2 feet. Or if you look to the left, it's right above the, or like just on that 3, but on top of it, on the 30.
And then my 10 mil mark is right below an arrow, so above the 36 feet, 36 inches, 3 feet, and there's an arrow on top of there. So that's gonna be our 10 mil mark. Our first attempt, and we are just right below that arrow, which is my aiming point, so that's good. So that's 100% tracking. Let's go back, see if it returns to 0. Yep, returns to 0 really well. Second attempt. Same spot. I don't think I should do a third one, but let's just do a third one for giggles. These are good optics, and they better track. It tracks 100%, which is a good thing. And it returns to 0 really well. And this is the Vortex razor tracking test. 100% tracking. Vortex Venom glass quality check. So here it is, the sunny conditions, late afternoon-ish. I can make out the different contrast of black really well, and then all the lines, edge to edge clarity, pretty decent. I mean, hopefully you can see what I'm seeing with the camera, or which is with my bare eyes behind the glass versus the camera. This is I think the 1080K camera, so hopefully it doesn't look, I'm trying to get you guys the most realistic view. I don't have a 4K, but if you look at the bottom, the checkered flag-ish in the bottom left, the bottom, that's kind of, I see a little bit of chromatic aberration, with like little bluing and stuff like that. So it's cheap glass, but besides that, it seems pretty good for a $400 optic. This is pretty decent. What else? Yeah, well, this is it. Glass quality check on the Vortex razor. Alrighty. As you can, one of the first things I notice is the greater field of view on this one. Like I said, or like the Venom doesn't go past 8 mils. I think it only goes to like 7.6 on both sides, and this one goes to 8.3 mils on both sides. So I'll calculate how much percentage that is, and this is at 25 power. So I'm trying to compare apples to apples. The lines are very clear, and the shades of black are very distinguishable. Again, what I'm seeing over here. Frankie! No! Again, what I'm seeing over with my bare eyes might be different from what you're seeing through the glass. And if you look at the checkered flag in the bottom left, the one all the way to the left, the checkers are very clear and distinguished compared to the Venom. So and I see maybe, let's see, tiny chromatic aberration, not as much as the Venom. Edge to edge clarity is pretty good. Again, this is just at 15 yards, so I think Area 419 did this test at 50 yards, or 60 yards, I think. But anyways, it is definitely, you can tell a difference between this and the Venom. All right, this part is looking at a little hawks or a hawk nest. So I don't have this mounted rifle just in case somebody tries to sue me. I'm not trying to kill any hawks out here and doing something illegal. I just wanted to show you guys what the hawks look like, or the tree looked like, the nest, through the glass. This is the Vortex Venom. And this is at what powers? There's 25 power, 50 yards away. So I mean, pretty decent glass. Really good glass for a cheap optic. That's a beautiful hawk. Man, I think that's a baby hawk or a teenage hawk. We've had these hawks coming back like in our neighborhood for the past like 5 years, and man, they're just beautiful. I love just watching them. But anyways, this video is not about hawks, so we're gonna move on to the next one. Right now, this is with the Vortex razor. Again, I don't have a rifle mounted on this, so this is completely legal. I'm not trying to kill any hawks. Just admiring them. But this is what it looks like at 25 power. You're getting a bigger field of view on the razor. On the Venom, like it wouldn't go past 8 mils left and right, but this one's past 8 mils, so anyways, this is what it looks like. Looking at trees and hawks. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. By the way, I'm doing this test. I'm not sure if you can tell, and when there's a dust storm. It was a very windy day today, and I think there was a bunch of dust that was blowing from West Texas, so it's probably not the best day to do this, but I guess you guys can get to see what the glass looks like in, I mean, I wouldn't say the worst conditions, but in not the best conditions. So this is the Vortex razor Gen 3 6x36 M red. And let's first start off with the turrets. Try to focus. I'm not a fan of the locking turrets, but it is what it is. Very, very defined. There's the windage. I feel like the windage has a better as far as sound, but I can't complain with the elevation. These are some of the best turrets I've ever ran. Parallax, very smooth and easy to manipulate, as well as the magnification. It's so easy to manipulate the magnification, I didn't even have to put the lever on there. And then I love the illumination on here, which the Venom doesn't have. Very easy to manipulate, and both are the same thing, 34mm objective, tube diameter, and I think this one's a 56mm objective lens, and then as well as the Venom, so they're similar in that regard. This one goes up to 36 power, but the Venom only goes up to 25 power. So those are some of the main differences between the most expensive Vortex and one of the cheapest Vortex. So I love the scope, good scope to get. Oh yeah, I can't forget the zero. Setting the zero is super easy. You don't have to take the cap off like you would with the Venom. You just loosen this up, and then you can get a coin, or you can use your fingers to twist it and then tighten it back down. Super easy to zero.
This is Vortex's cheaper scope. It's I think a $400 or $500. I got this for $300, but it's the MSRP I think is around $6. So let's start with the turrets. As you would expect with the cheap scope, the turrets are a bit more mushy, and also you're getting some play. So that's the only, I guess, negative about it. It's not as defined. The sound is not as defined as a Gen 3 Razor, which you would expect with a cheaper scope. So no complaints. If I was paying more money for this, then of course I would expect more out of it. But for a cheap scope, can't complain. But here's the windage. Again, not much sound, and you're also still getting a little bit of play. The zero is a little bit more complicated. You gotta take this off and then align your turrets with the zero. And then there's a zero stop inside that you twist clockwise, etc. Parallax is definitely harder to turn. This one, there's a lever on here because the magnifier is definitely hard to turn without it. Put a lot of force, but with the lever, it's a lot easier to turn. 56mm objective lens, so similar to the Razor, but with the Razor you're getting better quality glass, and this one's also a lot lighter than the Razor, so this would be good for hunting, and I'll probably use it for a few competitions, shooting my CZ. But anyways, for a cheap scope, I have a lot of good things to say about it. I have a buddy of mine who's won many matches with this scope, with his CZ 457 production rifle, and he's beaten a bunch of Night Forces, Zecos, you name it, with this scope and his CZ. His rifle is running around, I think, $1,000 with the scope, but he's beaten a lot of $6,000 rifle setups with his setup. So this Vortex Venom qualifies for production, and there's a lot of good things to say about the scope for the price. This is the Razor sunset test. This is about 20 minutes before sunset. It's an overcast day. Vortex Venom, 20 minutes before sunset. This is what the glass looks like. From my bare eyes, it doesn't look as good as the Razor, but yeah. Vortex Razor, 10 minutes before sunset. Vortex Venom, 10 minutes before sunset. This is what it looks like. It's getting dark. Alright, Vortex Razor. This is right at sunset. It's getting dark. Alright, this is the Vortex Venom. Right at sunset. Vortex Razor. This is 10 minutes after sunset. Vortex Venom, 10 minutes after sunset. This is what it looks like. Alright guys, that's the test for y'all. Hope you guys have an idea of just the difference between the on both sides of the spectrum, the higher end Vortex and the lower end Vortex. I love both of them for what they're worth, and of course there's pros and cons. With, well, more cons probably with the Venom than the Razor, because you're getting what you pay for with the Razor. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, and you guys probably gonna do some more testing with other scopes. So all right, you guys have a good one.